Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world and here in the United States. Tonight, we're going to have a little bit of fun with some ink blending. We're going to have a relaxing night tonight. Ink blending, masking magic, a little water spritzing, maybe another fun little technique in there. And we're going to make a couple of backgrounds. And then I thought I would add a little bit of ephemera in there just to create a focal image, because I want to focus more on the background techniques than anything else. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hoo-ha.
How are you? Is your mic up?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good. Just making sure. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Haven't seen you in a while.
We've been in our own offices all day.
Yeah, we pass in the hallway like running to the next
Just wave to each
crisis.
other.
Yeah.
So we've got some exciting things this week, don't we?
I have no map for this week, so I'm just waiting to find out where I have to be when.
Well, let me tell you where you have to be.
All
So
right.
Thursday at noon, we have a brand new release coming. We have brand new Illustrator stamp sets, new coordinating die sets. We have a bundle coming. Instead of a kit, we did a bundle this time. A bundle is kind of like a smaller kit. And this one has something new in it that none of our other bundles have ever had before. So we're excited about that. And then we have a couple of standalone die sets to introduce. And that's all going to happen this Thursday at noon Central Time. And then, Tom, you know what we're doing on Thursday night?
Okay.
We're going to be on Craft Roulette.
Oh, I've been reading all the, there's a few people excited for that.
I am very excited
Quite a
for
few.
that. Yep, we did a little, Mary Gunn and I did a little test run today to make sure that our system would integrate with their system. And it does, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I will put a link to the Craft Roulette video that's going to happen on Thursday night in this video, just so that you guys have the link and you can go right to it. I'll also share that in our release party video that's coming up on Thursday as well. This way you guys will be able to find us. So that means we're going to be 2 hours live in the daytime on Thursday and 2 hours live on Thursday night. We are going to spend like almost as much of our workday live as we are in the dead space.
I say we just keep the camera running.
Just take it with us all day. We're going to have so much fun. You guys are going to love Craft Roulette, and I'm going to really need you to cheer for me, because I was watching a couple of those episodes, and the guest designers that have been on there are amazing, and what they come up with. Basically, Mary spins a wheel, and there are different parameters that your card has to have. And then Mary makes a card, and I'm going to be making a card. And I saw one with robots, and that scared me a little bit. But I guess I found out that I can veto one thing. So if I get robots, I'm vetoing robots. Although I think they take them off once somebody has used it. I don't know. It's all new to me. I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys will join me for that.
Is there a better than horrible space on the wheel?
I'll ask Mary if she can add one.
I guess that's too low a bar.
I think my card will just be better than horrible no matter what. And that we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're going to have fun. All right. So I guess that was all our cleanup business. And Tom will be back a little bit later in the show. I have a hair appointment, but my hair appointment is how wide it is on this side. I have a hair appointment on Wednesday night, and we are expected to get 8 more inches of snow tomorrow. It's starting in the morning, so I don't know what's going to happen. But luckily in Wisconsin, they'll have the roads all clear, and we'll be back on Thursday no matter what. But I think my hair appointment might get canceled, so you might see me like this again. But whatever. As long as my hands are doing what they're supposed to do on the table, we're good to go. All right, enough chatting. Let's talk about what we're going to make tonight. So I'm going to be using some masking magic strips. And I know that you guys all have tried, or a lot of you have tried the masking magic strips. If you haven't tried these yet, I think you're really going to like them. it makes it really easy to create interesting patterns and do masking in a strip style, create a border, things like that. So we are going to use these tonight. And then I'm going to start with a piece of white cardstock. And I'm going to cut that down to 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 of an inch. Now, my friends, I did a video last week with a fancy fold card, and you guys were all asking me for a template. And I want you to know, if you haven't checked yet, I did upload that template into our Facebook group. Tom will put the name of our Facebook group up for you so that you guys are able to find it if you're not part of it. So you can head over to Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends on Facebook, and all of the templates that I've uploaded are all in that group. I'm still going to try to find a way to get them on our website at some point, I promise. All right, so let's talk about these Masking Magic strips. So they come in 3 different sizes. They come in a nice big wide 1/2 inch size, and that looks about that big. You can see how big that is. That's great for, well, if you want a big wide border around your card. It's also great for creating a strip on your card that maybe you want to add a greeting. So let's say you want to add a greeting here, but you want to stencil the entire card. You can put a piece of Masking Magic there, do your whole stenciling thing, and then you can pull that off and stamp in the open white space. So that's the 1/2 inch size. I also really like to take one of these and tear it up into small pieces and use it to tack dies down when I'm cutting them, because if it gets caught onto the image that you've already colored with Copics or colored pencils, it'll never tear your image. So these are really nice. The other 2 sizes, let's see, we've got a 1/4 inch size, which I am going to use some of the 1/4 inch. I'll start with that now, and then we're going to go to the 1/8 inch size. Okay, so I'm going to start with 1/4 inch strips, and I'm going to just create a border here around the outside of my card. I love doing this because it's so clean and neat, and it just really creates a neat little border, kind of eliminates the need for a layering panel. All right, I'm going to do one up here. I'm going to turn this around to make it easier so I don't have to get my head in the way, especially because Rena needs to do my roots. My hair grows super fast, and the reason it grows so fast is because I'm on thyroid medication, which is helping to speed up my thyroid, and it also speeds up my hair growth. Crazy. And I'm putting one on this edge right there. And I like this too because it holds everything in place if you're going to do ink blending and stuff. Yeah, everybody's getting snow. It's crazy. My friends in Minnesota, in Minneapolis area, and all over Minnesota, I am praying for you. I heard, the last I heard was like 25 inches. I think that's like a record. Since they've been keeping records, that's a record. Okay. No, I'll add a black panel. Don't worry, Vicki. I promise I will. Okay. If the Masking Magic gets on foiling, we'll pull the foil off. I haven't experienced that, but we can test it and see. I wouldn't necessarily do it on purpose, but it's one of those things that if you do it, you've got a little bit of a better shot of it not ripping or not pulling the foil off because it's Masking Magic. Now, these are the 1/8 of an inch strips. These are super skinny. And what I like is the blue ones are 1/8, the green ones are 1/2, and the red ones are 1/4. So when you see it laying there, it's easy to grab the one that you need without having to figure out, sometimes they're a little hard to see. All right, what we're going to do here is we're going to create a fun little pattern that just goes down the card, and then we're going to use a little water spritz technique. Now, I don't really need strips this big. I could probably cut them down and use them for other things, but I'm not super worried about it because these Masking Magic strips are not that expensive. They are reusable to a point. You can reuse them a couple times, and I suggest when you do reuse them that you use the same color, because it is a little not quite as porous as cardstock, so that ink could get a little reactivated. All right, so I've done this before with stenciling this idea, but I'm going to just do it with some ink blending here and some water to create texture. And I don't know if a lot of you knew, some of you knew, those of you that have been with me for a long time knew that our inks are water reactive. And if you haven't seen that, I think tonight will be fun for you because you maybe have some of our inks and you didn't even know that you could do this technique. And tonight I'm just playing with an old fun technique because I just, I have so many new things to share with you and I just want to share them all because of our release, but I can't. So I figured I would just bring out one of our oldies but goodies. So I know a lot of you have seen this technique before. I'm just pulling these up and shifting them a little bit so that they're a little bit more even. That's the beauty of masking magic. You can do all of that stuff. Okay, so I do like to use Post-it notes to block off areas. I think I have some here. I always keep Post-it notes in my stash. And I thought maybe I would do a little bit of a rainbow, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And that's the Roy G. Biv that we always talk about in crafting. So let me get my blending brushes here. And I'm going to find some ink pads. That was one that just fell. Okay. So Roy G. Biv is pretty simple. Roy is R-O-Y, red, orange, yellow. G is green, and Biv is blue, but I like to use turquoise instead of blue. You can use blue, though. And then the V is violet. So Roy G. Biv. Oh, well, blue, indigo, violet. You can use, what I prefer is turquoise and then blue and then violet. So you could use something like, let me find it, like blue raspberry in between here if you wanted. But I'm just going to go right from turquoise to purple because you can skip a color in Roy G. Biv and you'll usually be okay as far as blending. It usually doesn't turn to mud, but you should never skip two colors because it'll turn a little bit muddy then. All right, so we're going to start and we're going to do red at the top. Let me get my ink stand. Welcome, everybody. Let's see. Any advice on options for the UK? Have you tried bumbleberries in the UK? We do have several UK retailers. I know Bumbleberries carries just about our entire line, and that's why I suggested them because they are so dedicated to Gina K Designs. They carry everything that we carry. And if they don't and you request it, they'll put it on their next order. So you might want to try them because they have all the obscure things. But we do have other retailers, and you can always find the retailers by clicking the Our Retailers tab on our website. So I put pink at the end. But see, I know I've done this before, but I'm going to do it again really quickly just so that you guys have a visual. Okay. So we've got red, right? Red. And then we've got orange. And then we've got yellow. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. See, a lot of people think of the rainbow in a line like this, and they think that's where it ends. But that's not where it ends. It's not a line. It's not linear. It's circular. So you start with red, and then you go to orange, and then you go to yellow, and then you go to green, and then you go to blue, and then you go to purple, or you can do that indigo in between, which I can even use like blue denim. So you could go to indigo in between. And then in here, some people say, do you put it with red or do you put it with purple? It goes with both. It goes right in here. That's how you make your circle color wheel, just like that. So these two colors blend together. These two colors blend together, these two, and so forth and so on. So I hope that that makes sense. It's not linear, it's circular. Okay. So that was not in my plan tonight, but I certainly hope that it helped you guys out there. If you haven't seen that before, that sometimes a visual, I'm a very visual learner. So if somebody shows me something visually, I learn better. All right, so we are going to start with red, and we're just going to do some rainbow segments here. So I'm starting here with red, and I put Post-it notes on here so it just doesn't go into my next segment. And I'm going to really ink that up well. I want this to be nice and dark because I am going to spritz water on it. Now, you can use watercolor paper for this if you prefer, but Gina K Design's layering weight white will work just as easily. Okay. So, Tom, if you see any questions or anything when I'm looking down, if you would help me with that, that would be great.
All right.
Okay. And the color I'm using here is Red Hot, but you can also use Red Velvet for this. Red Hot and Red Velvet are the most water reactive of our reds. You can see I'm really getting that vibrant in there. And because I'm not really blending the colors, I'm segmenting the colors. You don't have to worry about doing any shading. All right. So I'm going to take this off here. And then I'm going to go to my next color, which is going to be orange. So I'm going to block this off. Hopefully that's going to be a little wet up there, that ink. Not super wet, like I can touch it and it won't come off on me, but it might not be as good with the adhesive on the Post-it notes. So we'll see. This one seems to want to come up. So I am going to use that little bit of masking magic just to hold that down. All right, so my next color is going to be orange, and I'm using Tangerine Twist. I am going to block this part off as well because I just want to stick within this section. I am using 80-pound layering weight white cardstock. You can use heavy weight too. You can use any white you want, but I'll tell you, our layering weight white just blends so beautifully. So it's so smooth. You'll be so surprised how smooth it is.
What color is the red?
The red is Red Hot. My cardstock is very white. Our white is very white. Our off-white color is called Ivory. It's more of an off-white. It's not a yellow ivory. It's just a real off-white. Okay, now I'm going to blend some tangerine in here. Ooh, that is so bright and fun. I've used lots of cardstock in my life, in my 20 plus years of crafting. And honestly, we searched high and low for our white cardstock, for the mill that would make our white cardstock. And I love it. Well, water reactive means if you spritz it with water, it will react. It won't just stay the same, which you'll see in just a little bit. Okay, so now we've got that nice bright orange there. And we're going to move to the next one. We're not sure when our next kit release is going to be. It could be a couple months because we've got some really cool bundles coming up over the next couple of months. We're not 100% sure yet. But bundles are kind of just like kits. They're just a little bit less expensive, but they're packed with some good stuff. Okay. Oh, I think you'll like this bundle when you see it. I'm really excited about it. And it's got some coordinating products coming too. So there'll be other things in the release that coordinate with the bundle, which is fun. Yes, the ink will react after it's dry. Okay. Nope, I wasn't on last Thursday. We had a big snowstorm here, so we all went home. We had over 11 inches of snow. Okay. All right. I have the red box upside down. Okay. So I'm going to use the wild dandelion here. Get that nice and bright. This one's a little harder to see the water reaction in it, but We'll do our best.
Susan asks, are the neon inks from Rena water reactive as well?
You know, I have tried that, and they do react to water. I would definitely give it a try. They are a dye ink, and you know, if it's a water-based ink, it's more likely to react to water. But some water-based inks don't. They don't do much.
And what other orange do you recommend?
Sweet mango would work. That would be a good one. Oh, I love how bright this is. Can't wait to take these off. Like the whole thing, all the strips. Do we have to drive far? Tom, how far do we live from work? Like 20 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's about a 20-minute ride for us. We were slipping a lot going home last Thursday, and it was only, gosh, we left fairly early. After we made the call to not go live, we started telling our staff that they should go home, and yeah.
And Chantel asks, how important are the brand of blending brushes?
Well, I will tell you, I have purchased blending brushes that are cheap ones from Amazon to try them. I know a lot of people like to say that they are the same. They are not the same. When we had our blending brushes created for us, we did not just buy blending brushes on Amazon and repackage them or anything like that. We had these custom made. And when we had them custom made, we said that we wanted them to fit most of the regular stands that are out there on the market. And we showed the design that we wanted to do. But they sent us a whole bunch of different heads, different kinds of bristles. Some were brown with white at the bottom. A couple different types of white ones. Some were very tightly woven and some were very, very soft. And we picked the absolute softest brushes that we could find. And I know that we have people here in the chat that will tell you that our brushes are definitely super high quality and they're not all created the same. So I think you would really like them. So for my green, I'm using Lucky Clover.
Barb asks if we drive together.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. It's kind of one of those things. I get in moods. I can be moody at times. And so Tom will be really nice and say, hey, you want to drive together? And I'll be all crabby and I'll say, no, I want to drive by myself. And that's because there are some days where I just need to blast my music really loud and sing at the top of my lungs and just do my thing on the way to work. Sometimes I have other things to do. Like today I had to stop and get a prescription filled and Tom needed to get to work early. So a lot of times we don't drive together, but sometimes we do.
Have a good cry.
Sometimes I need to have a good cry. That's right. There's nothing wrong with that, right, ladies?
When she buys a car, she buys it for the cup holder.
I do. I absolutely do. Tom has a much better car than me as far as like power and all of that. And he always says, do you want to take my car? And I don't like his car because I don't like his cup holders.
Yeah. She has these cups that are have their own seat in the car.
They're big. I have very big water cup. Oh my gosh. Okay. Can you zip ahead on the comments? About 20, I don't know, 20 miles away. No, not that far. Probably 15 miles.
11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, I don't know. That's another thing I don't know. Tom knows miles. Tom knows direction. He'll say, go west. I have no idea what that means.
No, I don't say that anymore.
Well, you used to.
I must have been a long time ago because I would never.
I don't know west. Oh, forgot to do that. That's okay. It'll look fine because I'm doing purple there. See, I'm getting all distracted. Thank you. I know. Thank you. I'm glad I saw the stop, but I saw it too late. I saw you. Everybody's telling me. It's okay. if we have to blend a little turquoise into that purple to make it match, we'll do it. We'll make it work. This one's Turquoise Sea. The last one was Lucky Clover. So he, Tom knows all those things. He knows east and west. He knows how many miles things are. When it comes to directions, and I think a lot of you ladies are like me when I say this, when it comes to directions, I don't want somebody to say, when you get to Route 13, go west. I want you to say, when you get to the McDonald's on the corner, make a right. That's what I need to hear. So, and I think there's probably some husbands that are nodding right now and looking at their wives going, uh-huh. It's okay. All right, so that's so light. I don't think it's going to affect us. This is kind of messy, isn't it? Roy, wait, just hang in there because it's going to be so crisp in a few minutes. You won't believe how crisp it's going to be. Okay, and this last one, I don't know why I left that other one on there, but that's all right. This last one is going to be Wild Lilac. You can use the medium lilac too if you have that one, or you can use Wild Wisteria. Right? See, everybody's with me on that. Nobody knows West. Okay. Maybe Rick and Roy and Tom, but not me. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to do some purple here. Oh, yeah, covered it right up. And I think I'm going to do the water. Oh, I know. Before navigation, I couldn't drive either. Remember MapQuest? And we used to go on the computer and print out the instructions. Boy, I am dating myself now, huh? Although I think my kids, Alicia might remember MapQuest. She probably never used it, but she probably remembered seeing the maps. All righty. So now, before I take all the masking, isn't that pretty though? Before I take all the masking magic off, I take the little color clips off because I have a tendency to press right in that spot and shoot them off with my finger while I'm ink blending. So I just take them off and put them back on. All right, so I'm going to use my Tim Holtz water spritzer. And with the Tim Holtz spritzer, I will show you that if you do a half a trigger, you get a more blotchy. Well, can they see that? Can you see the water spots on that table there, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. So you get bigger blotches like this. If you do a full spritz, you get a fine mist. You can't see the individual water droplets. So I want to do some droplets. I want it to look kind of messy. So I'm going to spritz on here, just doing a half a trigger pull. Oh, I like that. There we go. Okay, now you can see some of that water reactiveness. Can you see that on there, the little droplets? Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get my heat tool out of here, if I can find it. And I am going to dry this with my heat tool before I take the masking magic off. I'm not going to go too close because I really don't want to, and you can like tap it if you want. Kind of helps a little bit dry it up. But you can see that all along the white masking magic as well, how it almost looks snowy. I am live, Diane, on Thursday at noon Central Time. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Just dry enough that we can take the masking magic strips off. So let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, yeah. This is the fun part for me. Now they're a little wet, so maybe a little more difficult to get them off. I love it. It's okay if they're a tiny bit runny here and there. Just gives us that cool, watery look. And now we can take these off. I'll take this one off. I love that look. Gives it a watercolor look too. Get some of those droplets on there. So it looked messy, but now look how crisp it looks. Isn't that pretty? I love that look. Okay. So let me get that off. And then I can dry this a little bit more. Now you can see I didn't go right to the edge there with the strip. And it could have been a little bit of the water that made it leak under there. So what we can do is we can just cut a hair off of each side of this to remove that. And when I say a hair, I mean a hair. So we're just going to put it right to that 4 3/4, and then we're just going to scoot it down just a tiny little bit just to cut a thin hair of cardstock off, just to remove that little bit of purple bleed, and now it looks crisp. It looks more crisp. Same with this. And then you got to do it on the sides too, because you got to keep those borders perfectly even. Do the same thing over here. And the way to avoid that is just extend your masking magic a little bit, tiny bit, right to the edge or a little over the edge. But that's okay. That looks pretty good. Okay. So you only went a few drops before. What does that say, Tom?
You only want to do a few drops before removing the masking magic. Is that correct?
Yeah, just a couple little spritzes. And if you look at this closely, you can see there's texture in there too. You can see from the finer mist, but then these bigger water droplets are on top. My paper cutter is a couple of years old. It's very old. I've been using it for a long time. Okay, so now we're going to get a black layer because I can't disappoint my friends who know that I have to use black. Yes, tomorrow in a snowstorm is a great time to make a card. So I'm going to take this to 3 5/8 of an inch. And then on this side, I'm going to go to 4 7/8. So the border might be a hair bigger than it usually is because of what I trimmed off, but not much. It's still a pretty nice border there.
Would you call that black sense?
Is that your word of the day?
That's the word of the day. Black sense. Like accents.
Yes, it's a black scent piece. Do you have a word of the day, Tom?
Well, that was it.
That's it?
I'll come up with another one if you want. 2 words of the day.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I think you took advantage of that moment.
Okay, so here's one.
Okay.
So the second word of the day is droptimism.
What is it?
Droptimism. So that happens. That's what you experience if you're walking out of a grocery store with a bunch of bags and you drop a bag that has the eggs in it. And you just know beyond reach of doubt that nothing got broken in that bag. You will not believe that something got broken until you see it with your own eyes. Or you drop your cell phone and you just think, it's fine.
So you're a droptimist.
You're a droptimist, yeah. That's
I love it. All right, so I have a big hello here. This was from my night where I was watching football and cutting a million. Was it football? I was watching something and I cut a million words. So I'm going to use the hello here, and then we'll cut a little sentiment strip. And then we're going to do another technique using masking magic, just a quick one. Well, it's not going to be that quick, but we'll see. Oh, I'm so glad you like the foil. That's awesome. We have more polyglaze coming for this release. I'm very excited about. Yes, we do. I promised we'd have some new things. And 2 of our polyglaze coordinate with the new bundle. Oh, I'm giving away secrets now. That's okay. So I'm just using Connect Glue in my fine tip bottle that I've had sitting here on this desk now since the beginning of time, since we first started using these fine tip bottles. And I just keep refilling this one. And I'm going to add that right here. And then I'm going to add a little sentiment strip that says friend. So it'll say, hello, friend. So these are, I mean, this is kind of a good card for, like, I don't know, if you have a teenager and they're really, or, you know, maybe you have a guy that you want to give a card to and you're just not like, you just don't want to do flowers, because I do a lot of flowers, but I kind of like this. It's a little bit more, and you can use any colors you want. You don't have to go full rainbow. You could do just a mix of purples and greens and blues, or you can go with the bright colors. Tom's favorite color, which is orange. So if I did it for him, I would probably use like reds, oranges, and yellows and just alternate. But I can never pass up a rainbow, because a rainbow is God's promise, and I just love, love, love a rainbow. Now, with these glue bottles, one thing I wanted to just remind you guys one more time is if you get any clogging, it's probably because there's glue stuck in the pin area here. It's not really a pin, it's the nozzle, but there could be glue stuck in there. So when you get done using this, just make sure you peel off any glue that's drying on the top, and then tap it a couple times to get the glue to go back down into the bottle and to clear out that hole. And then always put that little cap back on top. This actually goes around the bottle, but I take mine off because then it hangs and it bothers me. All right, we'll put this on a card base, and then we will get to our next technique. So I'm going to put this on a white card base so we don't take away from the rainbow. Here's my big paper cutter because I'm going to do a tent fold. So I'm going to go 4 1/4 by 11. And I'm going to score that at the 5.5 inch mark. That was not a great score, but it'll do. And then I think I'll put some sequins on here, and I'll put the word friend. That's fun. That's just bright and fun and easy. Very easy card to make. And if you aren't interested in the water reactive part, you can just do the ink blending and peel it off from there, and you're done. But I feel like this could use some like silver or gold. Maybe gold. No, silver. Let's do silver. I think silver would be fun on here. Just some bright silver shiny things. So let's zoom in a little bit here. And I like these kinds of embellishments. I like the if you ever get any shreds too, you can always take your jewel picker, your craft pick, whatever you have. I'm using the pick and stick tool, and you can just kind of brush those away with the picker part. So I kind of like these types of embellishments for cards that maybe aren't as flowery, something that is a little bit more some air bubbles in there. Something that's a little bit more clean. Let's see how that looks. I'll put one up here too. Okay, I know that's an even number, and that freaks a lot of people out. Another thing I wanted to remind you guys is when you're using your jewel picker, don't put a lot of pressure on it, because it doesn't need a lot of pressure. All you have to do is just touch the jewel with the tip of the picker. It is wax. If you press hard, you're going to break your wax tip. But we do have wax tip replacements if anybody has done that and they need to pick up a new one. But just a very gentle little touch here is all you need.
Okay, Rachel said, Tom, please ask Gina which laminators she likes, please.
Okay, so the laminator that I will always recommend, since I tried it, is the Mink. It is by far the Rolls Royce of laminators. and you're going to get your best results. I have to put one more because I have too many. I mean, I have 6 and I need 7. Got to have an odd number. If you can't get that one, the Off Nova is an excellent laminator. I know it's available in some countries. It did sell out here in the United States. So there we go. Got a lot of gems on there, but why not? Why not? But honestly, here's the thing. You can use any laminator, but they can become a pain in the butt when you have to wait a good 30 minutes or so for it to heat up to get hot enough. And the Mink, you only have to let it heat up for a couple minutes and it's ready to go. It is made for crafting. It's made for this technique. And, you know, if it's a little bit more expensive than the cheaper laminator, but it works every time, I think it's worth the investment. And I never struggle with the Mink. I just never have a problem with it. I do have problems with other laminators. They don't always work. They do a lot of times, but sometimes they don't. So I will always recommend the Mink as my favorite laminator. I've had some luck with the Amazon. They're just plain old Amazon laminator. I've had luck with that. I've had luck with the Royal Sovereign. That's a good laminator. But again, you know, if you're going to pay $59 for a Royal Sovereign and you can get a Mink for $65 or $70, pay the little bit of extra to get the one that's going to be amazing every time. Okay, so now we're going to do a little lattice. And this is just Gina K Designs layering weight white cardstock. And I'm going to, once again, border this off. We're not going to use water this time. I wanted to show that water reactive look, and I'll take good close-up pictures of that. But this time we're not going to do that. I just wanted to do it with you so that you could see. Can you please show the point end of the tool? Sure. Yeah. It's just a craft pick. And it's got a little glue on it. Mine does. But you can use it to poke dies out. You can use it to press the gems down. You can use it it's long. It's very long. So.
Okay, so a few questions about some stuff that's not in stock, or so we don't have a clue, right?
Right, we don't have a clue. We order stuff. I mean, we ordered our new tidy towels and it took like 7 months to get them. And then other times, you know, we can order something from the same part of the world and it'll come in 2 weeks. So we just don't know. A lot of it has to do with supply chain. Do they have the materials they need to make the product? And then it also has to do with whether or not they have enough help. You know, the different manufacturing facilities that we work with for our stamps and dies. We actually placed an order with 2 different stamp manufacturers, and one had our entire order in-house in 2 weeks, and the other one, we're still waiting for them. So you just never know. Okay, so now I'm going to use these 1/8 of an inch strips, and I'm going to create a lattice pattern. So I'm going to go from point to point, like that. It's true, Amazon is not always the cheapest. That is very true. I'm just going to do some bigger lattice pieces, strips going down. And they're pretty easy to line up. And if they're not perfect, it doesn't really matter. This is still going to look really cool. Okay. All right, and I don't need a whole strip for this one. I can use this tiny piece here. Now, if this is hard for you to see, you can always turn it this way so the strips are straight. And sometimes it's easier to see if they're straight when you look at them this way. I'll put this one aside because I'll use that in another minute. Hello and welcome, everybody. It is great to see all of you here. Boy, we've got a full house tonight. I see 2,800 friends here tonight. My goodness. You guys you make my heart swell by always showing up for me. I appreciate that. Okay, and then I'll use this little piece here. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction to create this lattice. And we're going to do a bounce technique on this. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it's going to work. So we're going to try to just space them out the same. In the beginning, when I tried to do this the first time, I thought it was going to be very difficult. It is not. Oh, you guys, Barbara, so sweet. Thank you.
So at the release, the products go up the same time you start, right?
That's right. The products go live at 7 p.m. Central Time. And you will see all over Facebook and Instagram our fantastic guest design team and our designers that work with Gina K Designs will show all kinds of beautiful projects to get you inspired. And then I'll be here with our illustrators. They have pre-recorded spots now, but it works really well because this way we don't have to worry if their internet isn't strong signal. And they will be here sharing their ideas and their inspiration for their sets. And then I will be sharing our brand new bundle. I call it a bundle, but it's big. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It's just not as big as our kits.
Did you say at 7?
Oh, I'm sorry, noon. Noon. That's right. I'm thinking of nighttime. Noon on Thursday. Thank you, Dawn. Noon on Thursday. Noon Thursday. I'm writing it down so I don't not see it. Noon on Thursday, Central Time. Release. There we go. How's that? Okay, so now I'm going to do something in some more neutrals. So I'm going to use my tan brush, but I'm going to use a brown. So I think for this, I haven't used dark chocolate in ages. I think the last time I used it was in the autumn time, in the fall. So I'm going to use some brown. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up this brush. I'm going to get it nice and inky. Lots. Here, I'll show you. Like, I'm really going to get that brush inky. And then I'm going to bounce on this. So I'm just creating, just going back and forth in different directions. It looks like a hot mess right now, but I think it's going to look good when we pull this masking magic off. This is exactly what you don't want to do when you're ink blending. So this is a really nice kind of backdrop for florals. You know, anything lattice kind of reminds me of summer. And I'm turning the brush so it's not too patterned. It's okay if there's little marks in there. It's getting more inky as we go. I think I'm going to add a second color in here. I like this. I know you guys probably think it looks pretty messy right now, and it does. But I think it's going to look cool. All right, let's add a second color over that. Is Kathy Z here? Kathy, are you here? Are you gonna be okay with all the snow coming your way? I'm very worried about you. Okay, I'm actually going to use another brown, but this time I'm going to use my favorite brown, which is charcoal brown. This one's a little bit more gray, although now that I think of it, Maybe I'll just use gray. Maybe I'll use some Stormy Sky instead. I think I will. All right, I'm going to use Stormy Sky. Turquoise might look cool too in there, mixed in there. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to just very lightly add a little of this in there. I'm hoping for the best, guys. I'm experimenting with you. This is an idea I had. This is my my precursor to craft roulette. So hopefully this will work. I like that dark patches in there. Okay. I think it's gonna look good. I keep saying that, like if I say it enough, it will, even if it won't. Somebody said to add some turquoise. I forget who said that. I'm going to add some. Would this technique work with pigment inks? It actually might work even better with pigment inks, although pigment inks take forever to dry. So that's the only downside of a pigment ink, is that it takes a really long time to dry. But definitely, because pigment inks, especially on blending brushes, I can't stand using them with blending brushes because you really have to wash your brush afterwards or it just hardens up and gets crunchy. But if you did it maybe with a sponge dauber, it might look kind of cool. All right, just a little bit here and there. Ooh, that was a little much, but that's all right. We'll see what happens. I feel like this is going to look like a really cool backsplash that I'm going to want in my house. Okay. I'm going to stop. Let's just see what it looks like. I think it's going to look cool. Okay. Here we go. Well, I like doing it this way. I mean, a stencil would be cool, but it is fun to do it this way because you can make your lattice as big or as small as you want. So if you just want some big chunky lattice, you can do that. Oh, this is going to look pretty, I think. Oh, yeah. This is the most fun part of this technique, is the peel and reveal. Yeah, I'm very excited to be on Craft Roulette. I was honored that they sent me an invitation. And I have to thank Amanda from Pear Blossom Press for making that connection. Ooh, this is looking good, guys. This is looking like a very cool backsplash kind of. See, it starts to get more crisp and neat looking and less like, oh my gosh, what were you thinking? A little less than, oh my gosh, what were you thinking? All right, now here comes the best part. Come on, guys, isn't this exciting? Look how pretty this is. Such a beautiful backdrop for a masculine card or a floral card or any card. There it is. Look at that. And all we did was just bounce ink on it. It was really ugly for a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but I am just in love with how it turned out. So yeah, so that was Dark Chocolate, Stormy Sky, and Tranquil Teal. Okay, so that definitely needs a black background, and then I think we could just put a word right on there, and that will be good to go. Because my goal tonight really wasn't to make cards as much as it was to just show some cool backgrounds. And this is probably my new favorite background right there. Look at that. Oh yeah, I love it. And you know, I think this whole thing on a turquoise sea background would be the bomb, because The turquoise is just so light in there, but watch it pop out when we bring this turquoise or this Tranquil Teal cardstock in. Watch it pop out. Now you see it more because it picks up that reflection. Ooh, I love it. Okay, so let's trim this all down and we will turn this into another card. And then I know you guys are going to use this technique and you're going to create these beautiful floral designs. Like I had ephemera out here, and this is the wrong color ephemera, but you can just imagine how pretty this would be, you know, if you had some beautiful ephemera going up. Maybe we should do it. What do you think? Does this look pretty good? Because it's got that trellisy look, doesn't it? You know, if we did something like this and then we just added a greeting, I actually like this. I didn't think I would like it, but now that I've got my ephemera out, I'm kind of digging it here. So let me just pull all my little ephemeras out. Yeah, I think this looks fun. I didn't expect to like it. I'm excited that I like it. I mean, I expected to like the background. Oh, look, this background. This thing looks really cool with that color combination. That's really pretty in there. Sometimes it just works and you don't even try. And then other times you're working so hard. Like I feel like I worked a lot harder on the first card. And I feel like this one's better. And then we put a little greeting on that. Wouldn't that be beautiful? What do you think, guys? I like it. I think we need one more like flower coming down here. Under here a little bit. Because I like the 3 flower look. And then we'll do a little strip sentiment going across, and we can cut a second one out for this one too. All right, let's do this. We're going to do this, and we're just going to have a strip sentiment on there. So I'm not even moving here because I don't want this layout to go away. Okay, so this is my favorite card ever because I didn't expect it. So I'm actually leaving everything in place and just repositioning it this time with tape. And you can use any kind of ephemera that you want. Ephemera is just, you know, pre-cut pieces. But remember also, if you don't have an ephemera pack that's already pre-designed, just, you know, stamp some of your beautiful flowers. I'm going to turn this one. See, I don't want these to both be in the same direction. So if I turn it, it'll look a little bit different. And I'll slip it under here like this. Just down there. And we'll add these 2 little leaves. Yes, I did turn the bottom flower. Thank you. See, great minds. We're thinking the same way. We got the same thought process going. Look at these little leaves right there. And then we'll pop that one up with some foam tape. I did not expect the pink to work, which is why I was kind of shying away from it. But I think it's good because sometimes you just have to see it to decide. So I'm going to use a little piece of foam tape here. And then I will pop that right there like that.
So the Circle Guru would like to know if she can put a link up to your craft roulette video for Thursday, or will you be doing that?
Well, I will be doing it, but you certainly can put it in right now. Go ahead, the Circle Guru. That's fine with me. I am going to add a little more tape. If you ever like have stuff sticking out and you're like, I want to tape it down, just do that. Okay, so now we'll add the little black panel on here. So we're going to go to that 3 5/8 again, to 4 7/8. And then that will be the perfect size for that. Yes, so delicate. And then we will put it onto a card base. Now I'm going to look at that teal card base because now I don't know that I want that teal. In fact, I'm thinking I don't want the teal. It looked nice when I wasn't doing the pink flowers, but now I'm feeling like I want white because I don't want anything to interfere with any of these colors. And I'll show you what I mean. See how this just isn't it anymore. It's not bad, but I still feel like we need to go with white. So I'm going to go with white for this. And I might move these two just down a hair to get them inside there. We could always put one more leaf up in here if we wanted to. I think it might need one more up there. I feel like this is a little big sticking out, you know, so I think I'm just going to trim it like that. Cut it a little bit. See how it looks in there. I just feel like it needs a little something on that side to kind of balance the whole little arc that we have going. Pink would probably look good, but again, there's so many different colors in here that I think I'm going to stick with white. And the good news, I have a white card base already cut out. And then all we have to do is our greeting because it is already, I can't believe it. I go over every week. I go over every single week. I can't help it. I hope you guys don't mind. I love that you're sticking with me on this. So we'll cut out two little strip sentiments and we will pop them on these cards. Yeah, see, that is just, that's a little too pretty right there. And I don't have any pre-cut strip sentiments, which it would have been nice if I had done a few of those when I was doing all those big greetings, but I didn't think of it. But this background, you've got to try this background because that's really the fun, is this background. Just pouncing the brush all over it because the masking magic just softens everything and makes it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right, we'll go back to mixed messages. And I think I'll cut two hello friends and then I'm going to cut the friend off of one of these. And I'm using very generic greetings lately because I'm sending these cards to you guys. So if you're new here and you would like to be entered into the drawing for tonight's card, all you have to do is make a comment. But where did I put my plates? Look at my new plate already. It's a mess. I'm going to back out a little bit here. Not too much, though, because I've got a hot mess going on here on my desk. Okay. So I'm going to use our strip sentiments. And I'm going to use this one for this hello friend right there. I'm going to try not taping it down. So wish me luck. Nope, that's going to be crooked. Let me just change it a little bit here. You know. Okay, here we go. Everybody hold your breath. My plate is staticky, so everything jumps to the plate. Yeah, the one card is simple. It's got that fun water reactive component. But this card is just very elegant. So, you know, if we add that little hello friend right in there, that's going to be very nice. Okay, so we'll put that aside. And then this one is going to say hello friend, but I'm just going to cut it out close to the end of the word friend. I know that's weird, but it won't be. There we go. And then I'm going to cut out the other side just with a pair of scissors. Get a big pair. And I'll just cut this side. Okay, so that'll just say friend, and I will add that right under there. So we'll say hello friend. It's not perfectly straight because one side is die cut and the other side is not. So you could, you know, just cut it with a paper cutter, and that's a little better right there. Oh, I kind of like it on an angle like that, matching the angle of the, that's kind of cute. So I'll get some tape and we'll put those on there. And then if you've made a comment, you're automatically entered into tonight's drawing for these cards. So let's go ahead and get this on here. I'm not sure. Do you guys like it upright like this, or do you like it slanted? Let me know. I'll put this one over here and I will work on this one. Yeah, I like the black sentiment because it kind of plays off of that little black strip. I think that's what you were saying, but I'm not sure. I just saw something go by kind of quickly. There we go. I like that. And if you don't have our sentiment strips, you can always just do on a piece of cardstock with a little bit of embossing powder, a little white embossing powder. Okay, I've got slanted, 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 angled. There are some straight ones, but mostly angled. So I'm going to do it angled just because it's different. And I could go right now. I think I'll just go with the flow of the slant there. And then I've got to get rid of all that excess tape right there. Okay, there we go. Tape all over. Okay, so there are the finished cards. So we've got some water reactiveness over here, and then we've got some pouncing with masking magic over here. All right, well, that was fun. It was very fun. Did you have fun tonight, Tom?
Oh, yes.
I just can't wait to look at Tom
Always
after
a groove.
4 hours of lives on Thursday. Okay, so let's give away our water reactive hello.
Cheesy drum roll for
Yeah.
number 1 card giveaway. And that goes to Paula Golladay.
Paula, congratulations, Paula. I'll be sending this card out to you. Alrighty, woohoo. And then the pounced lattice card.
Number 2 card goes to Kathleen Sargent. Kathleen!
Yay, Kathleen! Congratulations, Kathleen. All right, everybody. Well, ladies, all you have to do is send your name and address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and I will be sending those cards out to you. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for being here and always being so supportive. Thank you for giving me the clicking on that thumbs up. That really means a lot to Tom and I. It really does help the channel, so thank you for that. Now, remember, Thursday at noon this week, we will be on for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours with our release party, with our illustrators and our brand new bundle. All kinds of fun new things. I can't wait to show you. And then Thursday night, I'll be on Craft Roulette with Mary Gunn, Fun with Mary Gunn. And I will actually put a link to that video in here as well so you can find it easily. And then I'll be back over the weekend with another 5-minute card video. All right, everybody, until we see you on Thursday, stay safe and healthy, and we love you so very much. Stay warm, all of you, in the path of this unprecedented snowstorm, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.